can be said about Kunal as an introduction, as I forgot to start it in there. Kunal is a very active member of Toastmasters, from the very inception phase, and he has been participating in different roles, delivering very excellent speeches, and we are really looking forward to have one today. With that note, please have a big round of applause for Kunal.
Let there be light. How did you all feel in the dark? It was a span of 10 to 15 seconds where there were no lights, and yet all of us were waving our hands for the lights to come back. Think of those in the rural areas who at times have to spend over 15 hours in a day without electricity. Think of those who are not privileged enough to wave their hands or clap and get the lights back. Think of those who are suffering just due to the lack of resources. And then think of the importance of these resources. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to speak about conservation of natural resources. Yesterday morning, I came out of my bedroom and I was doing some work in the living room. My mother summoned me from behind and only to point out, "You have left the fan running in the bedroom." I quickly defended myself. I told her, I know I'm going to get back in 5 minutes. I left it on purpose. She asked me a simple question. Couldn't you have switched it off and then turned it back on again when you needed it? I realized I had made a mistake. And then she told me, do not speak about conservation of resources at your Toastmasters tomorrow, because if you cannot follow it in your daily life, don't brag about it. But the fact that I'm speaking about it today is an indication that during the rest of the day I was able to recollect enough instances where I do follow conservation of resources. And what do I mean by resources? It includes a variety of things like electricity, water, food, paper, and so on. Few of these are direct. For example, when you save a bucket of water, you save water. Few are indirect. When you save electricity, what you're saving in the background is minerals. And these are exhaustible sources of energy. Now, when I say exhaustible, one thing that comes to my mind is, or rather one thing that comes to everyone's mind and people are bothered about, is petrol and diesel. And that is because we are so much aware about these because their cost is money. Their prices are growing day to day. So, money in itself is a very valuable resource. But we are not going to discuss about that today. But I have made a baseline here. We are only bothered about conserving those resources which cost us money and affect us directly. We need to change this lookout. We need to think globally. We need to change. Let us be a bit more specific and discuss what are the things that we can do here in our day-to-day life at Microsoft to save resources. The entire day of work is spent at a place called the workstation. It is said that a train stops at a railway station, a bus stops at a bus station. I wonder whether the same analogy is true for a workstation. Nevertheless, how many of us really bother to turn off our computers when we leave our workstation at the end of the day? Let me tell you, I don't. And the alibi that I give myself is, when I come in tomorrow, I have to start all the tools again, and that will take time. But believe me friends, the next time you stop your machine and start it again, count how many minutes it takes for you to start all your tools. If it takes more than 5 to 10 minutes, you need to get your machine replaced from MSIT. And to save these 5 to 10 minutes, we let the machine running for 12 to 14 hours of a day doing nothing. We need to change. Moreover, we don't spend our entire day sitting in front of our computers. Do we take the pain to turn off our screens? We all are sitting over here in this room. How many of you at this moment have turned off your screens? Many. Very good. How many of you then also made sure that the screens in the vicinity, the screens of your friends, are also turned off? Fewer. Is there a scope of improvement?
Yes.
Yes. We need to change. Printouts. We just had a discussion about printouts. How many times do we really think, well, do we really need that printout? Can we do without it? Can we use an old page to take a new printout? What a ridiculous thought. Old page for a new printout? We need to change. I remember a few months back, there were a few videos being screened in the GTSC canteens about conservation of resources. Few members from this very forum were picturized in those videos. One of the instances I remember from those videos is where someone uses 2 paper glasses to drink 1 cup of tea. Yes, all of us say, "Oh, that's ridiculous." But how many of us have taken the pain to go and stop someone while doing it? If not, we need to change. And last but not the least, when we have meetings like these and the meeting ends, everybody vacates the room. We know the lights are going to, they will switch off at the end of the meeting. But how many of us really wait until the end of the meeting for everyone to leave and then turn off the lights? Let me tell you, you might be surprised. For the last 3 Toastmaster meetings, I was the last person to leave the room and the lights were not turned off. Do not consider this as an offensive statement, my friends, but we as Toastmasters also need to change. The conclusion here is that all we really need to do is bring about that small change in ourselves, in our day-to-day activities, which in turn will have a global impact. We need to get started, and we need to do that now, from this very moment. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please do not hesitate from being the change you want to see in this world. Thank you.